The immortal pen of James Fenimore Cooper brings you thrilling tales of excitement, blazing action on the early American frontier, stirring adventures filled with the daring and courage of Hawkeye, first of the Long Rifles, and his blood brother, Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans.
Wagon go this way.
Owls don't hoot in the daytime.
Oh, Hawkeye! Well, you sure had me surrounded, and I gotta admit my scalp was tingling.
I thought I'd better teach you a lesson. You're moseying along down the trail like you're in the middle of a dream.
Well, guess I was daydreaming a bit, but there's no harm in that, is there? I understand it's been peace in these parts since I left, and that was more than 6 months ago.
Hungry bear, not read peace treaty.
Chingachgook!
Greetings to old friend, but next time dream in teepee, not in forest.
Look here, stop rubbing it in. Even if I was dreaming, you two could have ghosted up on me on any trail.
Say, that's a mighty pretty basket. Figure on taking up sewing?
We not see you for a long time. You find squaw?
Well, I gotta admit that's what brought me back this way. I'm gonna get married. I found me a right nice place in Dega Valley. I cleared me a farm, built a snug little cabin. Say, what are you two doing away from the fort? There ain't no trouble, is there?
Oh, nothing that should worry you, Mike. The colonel sent us out to look for a wagon of rifles and powder that he was expecting from headquarters. It's a full day overdue.
White chief think maybe driver get lost. We follow wagon trail.
It's the same way I'm headed. Mind if I tag along for a spell?
It won't make you late for your wedding.
Daniel Green's cabin's right in the trail. This is for Burl.
Little Burl? Why, the last time I saw her, she wasn't big enough to thread a needle.
She's 17, Hawkeye. Year older than her ma was when Daniel took her to White.
While tongue talk of new things, trail get old. Hawkeye!
He's been scalped.
Iroquois!
I never cared for snap judgments, Mike.
We find wagon. Powder and rifles gone. Now him.
Here's where their canoe landed, with a light load.
But other mark is deep. Mean leave with heavy load.
Well, that sure explains what happened to your powder and guns.
Explain nothing. Water leave no trail.
Well, what proof do you need? Isn't the Iroquois camp just across the river?
When fox run from hunter, leave false trail, not lead to den, where young ones are.
What he's saying is if Chief Atomi broke the peace, he wouldn't be advertising it like this.
Take it easy.
Iroquois. They come up on us sudden like.
You were with the wagon?
Yeah. I was riding guard. Back there. 3 or 4 of them devils, they dropped on us when we was passing under some trees.
That's why we not see moccasin track, where wagon turned to fort.
Daly. What's happened to Daly?
He's dead. They took his scalp.
Oh, no. Once the wagon had stopped, I jumped out and I ran for my life. Then I got hit with a flying tomahawk. And I fell down. but I managed to crawl away and hide. And then I guess I passed out. I don't understand how come they didn't find me, though.
Pure luck. Happens that way sometimes.
Oh, well, my head's all in one piece anyway. Take more than a Iroquois tomahawk to keep old Jake off his feet. Oh.
Earl's a right nice hand at nursing, and cabin's just down the road. You can rest there for a while and make sure you're fit.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you, son, but I gotta get on to the fort. I got my duty to do.
Now, don't press your luck, Jake. In your condition, without a rifle, you might not make it to the fort.
Yeah, but I gotta get to see the colonel. Now that them Iroquois have got guns and powder, they'll have to go on the warpath any minute.
Well, you worry about getting your head tended to. We'll worry about the Iroquois.
Burl!
Wait here.
But that's Daniel laying there. And Burl!
Stay back, Mike.
She's waiting for me. 6 months. She's been waiting for me.
It's better if you remember her the way she was when she said goodbye.
Those murdering Iroquois.
Be sensible, Mike. You can't do anything by
I'm
yourself.
not thinking of myself. I'm thinking of her, what they did to her. Give me that tomahawk. Young girl would say, tomahawk is not answer to tomahawk. Great Manitou know who kill. He lead us to justice.
She would have said that. She would have said it in Bible words.
Yeah, that's just the trouble. The settlers quote scripture while them sneaking Iroquois are doing the work of the devil. There's only one way to stop this, with the army. I'm reporting this to the colonel right away.
Just a minute, Jake. We're not sure that it was the Iroquois.
Well, how much surer do you want to be? Besides, I'm not waiting around for those rattlesnakes to jump me again.
Jake!
Jake's right. This is a job for the military.
Mike, I've known Chief Atomi for a long time. And unless I'm real wrong, he doesn't know anything about this.
Who else but the Iroquois could have done it?
Some renegade bunch that Chief doesn't know anything about. Get your basket. They shed their blood to help tame this wild land. Now they're at peace.
Wind of South. Take them to happy hunting ground. Great Manitou wait for them with smiling face.
Hawkeye, Chingachgook. There are 3 sets of tracks heading towards the cabin, but nary a sign of them coming back.
Those not tracks of people of house.
Chingachgook is right. See how deep those heel marks are? Now look.
That's how they do. Come from river to cabin, then walk backwards in same tracks. But they not fool us. We go to river, look for tracks.
They sure didn't want to take any chances on being followed.
Maybe they are same one. Use canoe for powder and rifles.
There's only one way to find out.
No canoe sign. Evil ones must walk in water.
They walked right out again. The water's too deep for walking. They headed that way. They must have felt pretty safe at this point. Looks to me like they doubled back to the powder wagon.
And the devils paddled into their own territory.
Iroquois didn't make these tracks.
They were wearing Iroquois moccasins.
The Iroquois know this river too well to walk off where it's too deep. Besides, I've never known of Indians who would go through all this kind of trouble to cover up their tracks. Right, Chingachgook?
If Indian make attack, not cover up tracks.
Then what you're saying...
What I'm saying is that not all murdering savages have red skins.
We are doubling the sentries. You and Private Edmonds will stand guard at the north gate.
Lieutenant Curdy?
Yes, Lieutenant?
Hawkeye and Chingachgook are here, sir.
Show them in. And prepare your troop for marching.
Yes, sir.
We better get going, Colonel. Them Iroquois might be scouting settlers right now.
We'll leave as soon as I hear Hawkeye's report.
I suppose he's told you what's happened.
Yes, and we're marching full force on Chief Otomi's village.
And Jake's like a lot of people. Gets half the facts and does a whole lot of wrong.
Are you disputing what he's reported?
Well, how can he? Wasn't I set on by Iroquois myself?
Colonel, the tracks we found around that cabin were left by white men.
Are you sure?
Nobody in all forest reads sign like Hawkeye.
Maybe I can't read signs so good, but there's that Iroquois tomahawk that you found in that there cabin.
An ammunition wagon stolen, the driver killed, 2 women and a man scalped. An Iroquois tomahawk. No, Hawkeye. That's more evidence than the tracks of white men.
But if I'm right, you'll plunge the whole frontier into the fire. And no Indian tribe will ever trust us on keeping a treaty again.
You've been right before, Hawkeye, I grant you. But I can't just stand idly by.
Chief Otomi has always been reasonable. If any of his braves are guilty, he'll turn them over to us.
Oh, that's a laugh. Why, Otomi's guilty himself.
If the treaty could be saved, so would hundreds of lives. Hawkeye, I'm giving you and Chingachgook 24 hours. If your investigation doesn't clear the Iroquois by then, we march. Full battle order.
Thanks, Colonel.
Much noise.
The Lord make the face of his countenance to shine upon you, brothers.
Well, if you want to keep your countenance shining, you'd better not sing so loud.
Well, brother, I admit me voice isn't as sweet as a nightingale.
This Iroquois land. You sing, they take scalp.
Me red brothers are welcome to whatever locks I may have, if only I can help them to abandon their heathenish ways.
A few days ago, you could sing songs and save souls till Judgment Day.
And that's just what I'm doing. Our red brothers must be prepared for that happy day.
Now, look here, Mr. Finnegan.
Brother Finnegan.
Brother?
Brother Finnegan, my friends and I are on a mission. We've got just 24 hours to keep the Army and the Iroquois from being at each other's throats. If we fail, the life of anyone found around here will be worth less than nothing.
Thank you for your concern, brother. But in carrying the word, I've learned to cast out all fear. Oh, a small token of my thanks for your warning.
Goodbye, Brother Finnegan.
Good day, brother. Peace be with you, brother. I travel the wilderness, too.
All right, you can cut out the psalm singing. Even if it was good, I wouldn't like it. What did you do with the wagon?
I hid it back there in the bush. Well, how you doing, Jake?
We're in trouble, Sam. You've got to keep the guns and powder in your wagon a little while longer. And out of sight.
A couple of white men and an Indian told me our little war's being delayed. They was heading toward the Iroquois village.
Yeah. Those men you was talking to. One of them's Hawkeye.
Hawkeye? Then that war has got to start now.
I don't see how it can. Chief Otomi trusts Hawkeye. He'll listen to him.
Now, just supposing, Jake, an Iroquois is shot by a white man, and Chief Otomi gets to hear about it while he's powwowing with Hawkeye. And what do you suppose had happened then?
The end of a beautiful friendship.
And war drums would start beating, now wouldn't they?
When I was coming over here from the fort, I saw a hunting party. No more than 3 Iroquois braves.
You have my blessing, brother. Be on thy way.
Hawkeye speak truth. This Iroquois tomahawk. But Iroquois not kill.
Tommy, you're a great chief. Come with me and tell this to the Yankees colonel.
Atomi have counsel with Yankees chief under sky in forest, not behind walls of fort.
I'm afraid there's no time for me to fetch him here. The shooting's due to start any minute.
Yes. Who kill?
White man. We hunt, see white man on hill. Tonkawa stop, wave. White man cry out, Iroquois dog. Then he shoot, kill Tonkawa.
Death of Tonkawa. Death of treaty paper.
Listen to Tommy. They may be the same evil white men that we're after. Stay off of the warpath, at least until you've met the colonel.
No counsel now, Hawkeye. White men say Iroquois dog. Iroquois dog bite deep. Hawkeye, Chingachgook, you come in sign of peace. Iroquois law say go in peace. Go!
Iroquois or no Iroquois, we'd better get out of here while we still have our hair.
You're right, Mike. They're just itching for an excuse to tomahawk us. Let's move easy toward the river.
We act afraid. Maybe forget Chief's orders. Take our scalps.
Just ignore them no matter what they do.
Iroquois start war dance.
Yeah, they'll be on the warpath soon. We've got to warn the colonel.
I was beginning to think you was a victim of your own bushwhacking, Jake.
Well, it took time to follow the hunting party into the village. Can't you hear the war drums?
And if I know anything about Indians, they've stirred themselves into giving us a real nice price for our wares.
Yeah. Let's go and get the stuff out of the wagon.
I thought you said Tommy would take care of Hawkeye and his friends.
Well, sure he did.
Then who are they?
Say, that Hawkeye's smarter than I figured.
Too smart. He's the only one that's been able to figure out it was white men who massacred them people back at the cabin.
Oh, what are you fussing about? There ain't no names on moccasin tracks?
There's a blame good chance he'll be able to piece all this together. Even to figuring out that hit on the head you gave yourself wasn't done by the Iroquois.
Yeah? Well, he ain't gonna live that long.
Jake, you can't hit anything at this distance. Knowing Hawkeye, you'll never get the second chance to shoot.
Well, what difference does it make? Nobody's gonna give me a second chance to explain either.
Say, ain't they gonna have to land down at Henderson's Narrows? Not so far from here?
Well, sure, on account of the rapids.
Then let's get back to the wagon and pick up our bows and arrows and moccasins. I can't think of a better place for them to walk smack into a couple of murdering Iroquois.
Now you've got the answer.
All right, here they come.
Mike, keep us covered. Keep them busy.
Jake, in the Bible thunder.
That's right, Mike. If you'll check those moccasins, I'm sure they'll fit the prints back there at the cabin.
You? Why, you?
Let's keep the punishment legal, Mike.
We give to Iroquois or we give to White Chief?
On Iroquois land, Yengeese have no chief. All white men die.
Tommy, I'm your friend. I've got powder and guns. Plenty of them back there in my wagon for you.
Evil men get rich by starting wars, Chief Atomi. I can prove that these are the men who stole the guns and powder, murdered the people in the cabins, and Tonkawa.
Hawkeye lies. He's trying to prevent you from having guns to protect yourselves with.
Him kill Tonkawa.
But I had nothing to do with it.
You same as Skiller. Both men die in Iroquois fire.
They're my prisoners, Atomi. They'll be tried and punished by white man law. I give you my word on it.
White man's law, soft.
Hawkeye give word. Word of Hawkeye is straight as tree and forest.
It is well. We smoke pipe of peace with white brother. Yankees punish the evil ones. We have peace.
Yes, Chief. For only in peace can both our peoples prosper.
War bring nothing but evil to land.
This is the way all differences should be settled, with a pipe of peace.
Join us again at this same time next week for another of James Fenimore Cooper's gripping tales of the early American frontier. Another exciting adventure of Hawkeye and his blood brother, Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans. The immortal pen of James Fenimore Cooper brings you thrilling tales of excitement, blazing action on the early American frontier, stirring adventures filled with the daring and courage of Hawkeye, first of the Long Rifles, and his blood brother, Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans.
I'll see you all swing from the gibbet.
A terrible charge. And dreadful judgment, Squire Palmer.
Tolliver.
Captain Tolliver. Late of the good ship Fearful, scourge of the Grand Banks. A hand, Sligo.
Release us at once, or you'll be answering to my good friend, the Commissioner General.
Note that in your logbook, Sligo. The good squire knows the Commissioner General himself. We'd best be taking to our heels. His Majesty's Navy might have blown me ship from under me, but me senses came through without a scratch.
Then I'll be driving on, as soon as you tell your men to bring back my wife and daughter.
When I've £1,000 sterling from you, me hearty, that's when you'll have back those 2 milk-faced females of yours.
£1,000?
Gold is where you find it, Squire. To me, you're no different from a fat merchantman sailing out of Boston. And you're women. The rich cargo to be brought back.
But £1,000? That'll take time to raise.
And that you have to the week's end. Payment according to these instructions.
Take me more than a week to get to my banker.
Ah, the promise of a pearly ear snipped from your wife's head, or a finger off your daughter's tender little hand, should get you hopping to your banker like a racing sloop.
You bloodthirsty spawn of the devil.
Avast, lads! Away anchor and hoist sail!
Commissioner, while you're lottie down with these men of the woods, Tolliver and his gang are probably cutting off my wife's ears. Are you going to send troops or aren't you?
Squire Palmer, these men of the woods, as you call them, are the troops I'm sending.
2 men against a whole crew of desperate cutthroats? I must have been daft to even ask you for help to get back my wife and daughter. Well, there's nothing to do but leave the ransom as Tolliver wants.
Squire, from what I've heard of this Tolliver, you're liable to not only lose your ransom money, but your wife and daughter, too.
Tolliver's instructions are plain. If I leave the money at Big Rock, I get back Betty and Jane in the morning.
But not be sure whether alive or dead.
This is no guarantee of anything. Squire, I don't blame you for being overwrought. But don't let your loved ones rob you of your good senses.
Go home, Squire. Let us handle things our way. If anyone can track down Tolliver and bring your wife and daughter to safety, Hawkeye and Chingachgook can.
I'll take your advice, Commissioner. But remember, £1,000 is small loss when measured against a man's family. And I'll be holding you all responsible if you save my money and lose me my loved ones.
Devilish mission I've set for you, Hawkeye. Needle in a haystack would be simpler to find.
I take it that these pins cover the course of Tolliver's piracy.
Last week, they attacked a wagon train here. I sent troops, but they found nothing. You know, these pirates seem to be as much at home in the woods as they were on the high seas.
They must be fair to middling woodsmen to live in country like that. Those pins cover more than 50 miles of uncharted forest.
Take many moons to track down pirate.
Then I'm afraid we'd better place the safety of the squire's family in the hands of the Almighty.
It's a mighty fine collection you got here, Commissioner.
When we capture criminals, we confiscate their weapons. But I'd surrender them all just to see Tolliver's sword hanging there.
4 of diamonds. Shouldn't I have heard of him?
You should have. One of the most notorious highwaymen of the past few years.
Of course. And he used this here as a kind of calling card. You know something? He might use it again.
What to say, Captain?
£50 reward for the recapture of a brigand named the 4 of Diamonds.
£50?
A tidy sum to hold in your palms, eh?
While your itching palms are holding it, the Commissioner General will be piping a tune to keep you jigging from the yard arm. I heard something about this lad. I heard tell he was a tricky lubber with his rifle.
Well, do you think he's steering his course this way?
But if he is, he'll learn soon enough I'll not tolerate any private buccaneering hereabouts. Sligo, you and Hanks, get on to the trading post after the supplies.
But I think next time somebody else should be sent. I'm getting to be fair squirmy in these settlers' homespuns.
The quicker you get the supplies, the quicker you'll be able to take off those farmer garbs. And see that you pay like any honest settler. It's the lone trading post hereabouts, and I wouldn't want to be cut off with supplies on account of you.
Yeah.
All right, me mateys, let's go.
White man buy blanket from poor Indian.
We come to buy supplies, not blankets.
White man maybe buy poor Indian firewater.
Belay that. I buy no engine, no firewater. Now, batten your lip and shove off. You're in my way.
Find a customer?
2. Dress like farmer, talk like sailor. Both in trading post now.
Well, like we figured, even pirates got to eat sometime. Well, I reckon the same goes for highwaymen.
I'd not like to see my brother go alone.
Well, the Four of Diamonds always played a lone hand, Chingachgook. But if I need you, I'll come a hootin' and a hollerin'.
£50. More than I could save in a year, and just for telling the Commissioner General I saw him.
Yeah. But it ain't for the likes of us, the reward like that.
I know what you mean. Money comes to money. Some rich fat burger will be the one to have the luck. Be with you as soon as I can, stranger. If I had a dozen customers like you buying enough to feed an army every month, I wouldn't think twice about that £50.
I wouldn't think about it for a minute, storekeeper.
Oh, and why not? Man scrapes out a paltry living and
Keeps on living by minding his own business.
Four of Diamonds.
Don't make any sudden moves. You'll all be singing together in Kingdom Come. Now, I need a few supplies. A side of bacon and a bag of flour.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. You gentlemen look like you got most all what I want right in that pack. Put those things in there.
You ain't going to get far with this.
Judging from the size and heft of them, maybe you're right. But how far I get with them depends on who's going to carry them. Now, I think you get the idea. Let's get going. End of the trail, gents.
You ain't aiming to shoot us down in cold blood, are you, Diamonds?
There's an old saying, dead men tell no tales.
But we wouldn't say nothing, or we'd forget we even saw you.
Well, I'm a mite short a letter. I wouldn't think twice about wasting any on you. Now get going.
You know, Diamonds, supplies are hard for us to come by, too. Now, you ain't gonna take both them packs, are you?
A man on the run needs all the supplies he can get.
You don't have to be on the run. Look, if you'd stole that fancy iron of yours for a minute and listen, you'd find out that we're your kind of people.
Nobody's my kind of people. Now get going.
No, you don't understand. We're both in the same business. And I'll wager there's more bounty on our heads than there is on yours.
The only head worth more than mine belongs to a pirate by the name of Tolliver. You don't look like pirates.
Now, don't let these homespuns throw you off course. Me name's Sligo, first mate to Captain Tolliver. And I can tell you right now, we could use a bucko like you in the crew.
Well, I've always got along playing a lone hand. I better keep it that way.
Oh, no, we got lots of action, Diamonds. Why, we got a whole town of our own. Had plenty of booty to make you real fat. And besides, the Commissioner General would never get you if you was one of us.
Keep talking, Sligo.
Look, a fellow with your talent, no telling when the captain would make you an officer. With privileges of rank.
Yeah. Reckon it wouldn't do any harm to talk it over with him. Okay, pick him up. But just remember, till your captain convinces me different, there's no higher rank than a man with a gun in his hand.
That calling card of yours don't make you the 4 of diamonds in my log, matey. If I didn't know Hank's here, he could bring me some flowers and claim he was the Queen of May.
I wasn't too all-fired eager to join up with you in the first place, Captain. Now, if you're doubting my word, I'll just take my leave.
Now, hold on there, me bucko. Fake diamonds can be dazzling to those who don't know, till they're made to cut glass.
What if I can prove that my diamond's cut sharp and clean?
Then you'll put your mark to the crew log and take the oath of the brotherhood. If, on the other hand, you're not the 4 of diamonds, but the 4 of flush, you'll be buzzard meat hanging from the nearest yard arm come nightfall.
Well, that's 2 diamonds gone. Now, just to make it interesting, if you'll set that card edgeways, I'll try to cut it in 2 for you.
On that, I'll wager. You'll never come close.
The odds are in your favor, Sligo. Captain sneezing on the heel of your words puts the stamp of truth on them.
He's got something there, Sligo.
I'll cover that.
3 gold guineas and a piece of 8.
I'm afraid that's a little rich for my blood. Being out of circulation for a while has left me without funds.
Then what are you bragging about wagering for?
Just my natural gambling instinct, I guess.
Spoken to me liking. I'll cover that bet for him, Sligo.
Oh, go ahead.
Hanks, hold the card for him.
Who, me?
Stop shaking, Hanks.
Who's shaking?
Matched and overmatched. The 4 of diamonds, me lads, come to join our crew. How say? Hey! With me compliments. I never saw better shooting. But then every man each to his own weapon.
I agree, Captain. That's why I'm willing to stake myself on this.
It's me pleasure to have you sign the oath of the brotherhood. The book and flag, Sligo. All right, me hearties. Now remember, I'm captain. Any disobedience that's minor, punishment according to Moses' law. 40 stripes, lacking 1 on the bare back. Deny the oath, and it's the yard arm.
Man would be just as dead one way or the other.
A man of discernment. That's what I've been lacking in my ship's company. Make your mark, or if you can, scratch your name. If you're the man I'm thinking you are, your blood will be running a mite warmer at the sight of a couple of likely-looking wenches I've been thinking of inviting to the party.
Well, if you don't mind, Captain, I'll get a little shut-eye before I join you. Breaking through iron bars and running away from the law makes a man a bit weary.
Any berth that's empty out there in the cabins is yours for the taking.
Thank you, Captain. But if it's all the same, I'll make my bed under a tree. Haven't seen much of the sky where I've been living lately.
At least you escaped with your sense of humor.
Captain, if I saw you looking at me like that, I'd sleep with one eye open.
That 4 of diamonds gives me bones the feeling of bad weather brewing. You and me, Sligo, we've outrun many a storm together by keeping an eye to the weather glass. Healthy looking, ain't he, for a man who claims he's been rotting away in a dag dungeon?
Then you don't think he's really the Four of Diamonds, Captain?
You should know me by now, Sligo. I like to check over my charts before tacking a new course.
Get to the Commissioner General's office as fast as you can. Tell him Tolliver's hideout's the abandoned settlement by Feather Creek. We need all the men he can spare for to get them women out alive.
My brother still act like outlaw?
I'm a full-fledged pirate, sworn to a devil's oath. If I don't get back before I missed, the Four of Diamonds is going to be the Ace of Spades.
I go. Run like wind.
A fine bottle of the ruby. A company of fair ladies. The Commissioner General himself couldn't ask for more. A toast to the health of your loving husband and father, ladies. And to the hope he ain't forgot to send £1,000. But you're not drinking, ladies. And when we're toasting your dear squire, drink up, it'll make your time here brighter. Now, come on now, girl, you needn't move away. And a sip of this will prove to you just how friendly I be. 2 pairs of lips can put the stamp of love on it.
Filthy swine! Leave my girl alone.
The squire didn't leave the money.
You're lying.
Honest, Captain. I looked and I searched and I waited, but nary a farthing could I find.
I've been patient too long. You're my share of the prize.
You don't touch her, you foul beast!
You're overstepping your mark, Captain.
Mister, you're new here. Interfering with my word can mean the yardarm.
I'm just speaking up for what's fair to me and the rest of the crew. The £1,000 might still be on its way.
I'm the one who decides what's fair for this crew.
All the same, Captain, you got no right to meddle with these women.
Nobody tells me what to do and what not to do. I'm the captain here.
Even a captain has to hold to the oath of the Brotherhood.
And a lubber like you is charging me with a violation.
If you want to put it that way, it's right in the articles of the oath. A man who offers to meddle with a prudent woman without her consent shall suffer death.
You lubberly sea lawyer, you forgot one thing. Any man charging the captain with wrongdoing has to be ready to fight.
There's more to my liking, Captain, and a better way to prove who should be in command here.
All right, me hearty.
You'll heed my orders from now on. A couple of you give them a hand. I'm taking the ladies to the cabin. Ma'am?
Thank you for what you've done for us. But now, if you don't mind, we'd like to be left alone to our own privacy.
It isn't as simple as all that, ma'am.
You're just as bad as the rest of them. Talking us into putting our trust in you.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to. I'm not really the Four of Diamonds. I'm called Hawkeye. And it might comfort you to know I'm acquainted with your husband. I'm doing everything I can to get you to safety.
But we'd be safe already if he'd paid the money.
Well, it was me that told him not to. Sending money to these men would be no assurance that they'd let you go unharmed. I'm going to call a meeting of all of them. See how far my authority will go. As soon as the streets are cleared of guards, I want you to go out the back way and keep going until you come to a clearing. Wait for me there.
You mean you'd send us out into the woods alone?
There's nothing out there with fang or claw that would do you the harm that Tolliver and his gang will. You've just had a sample of that.
All right, then, we'll do as you say.
Good.
Ah, our new captain.
Well, no hard feelings, huh, Tolliver?
Of course not. Besides, you're bested me in fair fight. And the men will follow the profit trail under any captain.
Say, they should be standing guard outside.
What I've got to say is for all ears.
You hear that, lads? Give your new skipper your close attention.
Well, that's mighty sporty of you, Tolliver. Man, I think I've got a way for us to collect that 1,000 pounds ransom money.
Captain, before you tell us that idea, I'd like to show you something. A shackle scar. I earned mine tied to the galley benches of a prison ship. And almost every man of this crew's been shackled at one time or the other. Now let's see the mark of your scars, Mr. Four of Diamonds.
What kind of a game is this, Tolliver?
The game of questions and answers. We want to know how you got them ruddy cheeks of yours after having been locked up in jail. You're gonna give us the answer by showing us what your shackle mark looks like. Hanks, uncover his ankle. We're gonna take you out and hang you to the nearest yardarm. Militia! All right, me Four of Diamonds. End of your voyage.
There's your Captain Tolliver for you, Commissioner.
My wife and daughter, where are they?
They're waiting for you in a clearing not far from here, just as snug as you please. I'll take you there.
Tolliver's sword. Just where I've always wanted it. A symbol of the justice he and his cutthroats so richly deserved. To which they'd never been brought without the efforts of Hawkeye and Chingachgook.
You're right, Squire. And thanks to them, honest citizens will now travel the Northwest woods without fear of even seeing a pirate.
Oh, they keep eyes open. They see one pirate.
Well, come on, matey. Let's weigh anchor and shove off for the woods. Goodbye, Commissioner.
Bye, Hawkeye.
Squire, ladies.
Join us again at this same time next week for another of James Fenimore Cooper's gripping tales of the early American frontier. Another exciting adventure of Hawkeye and his blood brother, Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans. pen of James Fenimore Cooper brings you thrilling tales of excitement, blazing action on the early American frontier, stirring adventures filled with the daring and courage of Hawkeye, first of the Long Rifles, and his blood brother, Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans.
My lad, what did I tell you? That worked like a Bristol clock. As soon as that settler reports he was attacked by Wyandots, the war will be on.
I'm not so sure, Braxton. Them Indians love that peace treaty of theirs.
When I get through pulling strings, Wade, they'll love us more. Braxton and Wade, firearms and powder for prime furs. Protect your redskins against the avenging redcoats.
What makes you so sure the Wyandots will trade with us?
How else will they get arms and ammunition? Wade, don't lose your nerve now. There's a fortune in this for us.
Yeah, they're Wyandotte arrows, all right.
I thought so, Hawkeye, but I wasn't sure. That's why I sent for you and Chingachgook.
Well, a couple of arrows don't make an uprising.
You wasn't the one they shot at. If I didn't have my musket, I'd probably had my hair lifted.
Wyandotte, honorable tribe. Not break peace treaty with paleface.
Peace treaty. Them Wyandottes understand only one kind of peace. Backed by guns and soldiers who know how to use them.
Black Wolf not break treaty. Wyandotte want peace, not war.
He's right. Black Wolf's a friend of ours. He's an honorable man. He keeps his word.
Yeah, a real nice friend to have. I'm not the first settler who's been attacked. And while we're shilly-shallying, them savages are fixing to attack some other place. I say we should teach them a lesson they'll never forget.
I'm afraid he's right, Hawkeye. You remember what happened at Fort Superior when the Hurons broke their treaty?
But Wyandottes aren't Hurons.
Perhaps. But in the absence of Colonel Ewing, I'm responsible for the safety of this territory. Excuse me, gentlemen. Ely? Ely, prepare a detail. We're marching on the Wyandotte village.
Just a minute, Major. You send armed troops and you'll really have an uprising on your hands.
Hawkeye, I don't propose to start anything. And there won't be any trouble. If Black Wolf can explain those.
Black Wolf explained to friend, not soldier.
Chingachgook knows what he's talking about, Major. I'm sure we can get Black Wolf to come back here and help straighten out this misunderstanding.
Well, perhaps you're right, Hawkeye. But make it clear to him. If he doesn't come voluntarily, we'll bring him in.
I have spoken to my people. No Wyandotte break peace. We take counsel.
There's no need for Black Wolf to speak to his people. Always when Black Wolf has spoken, it is with truth.
And why Yengeese soldier want Black Wolf?
Yengeese see only Wyandotte arrows. They wish to hear the truth from Black Wolf himself.
What if Yengeese not believe words of Black Wolf? Is the chief of Wyandotte like coyote in jaws of trap?
Black Wolf is no coyote. He's my friend. I would not lead a friend into a trap.
Hawkeye, I go to fort in peace. I come back to my people in peace.
I give you my word.
I go.
Black Wolf, I want to thank you for coming. But I'll come straight to the point. I've had complaints from settlers that you Wyandottes have attacked them.
Wyandottes not make war without first sending sign of rabbit and arrow.
Do you recognize these?
Arrow of my people.
You see, he admits it.
But Wyandotte not shoot arrow.
Major, Black Wolf has questioned his braves. None of them were anywhere near this man's place.
It's his word against these.
You've never had any reason before to doubt Black Wolf.
What's he doing here?
What concern of yours is that, Braxton? And since when does a regimental scout burst into his commanding officer's quarters without knocking?
I was attacked by a band of Wyandots not more than an hour ago. I barely escaped with my life.
It appears you haven't checked with all your braves.
Black Wolf speak truth. If Wyandotte brave has broken treaty, he will die by Wyandotte law.
Don't let him get away, Major. He's as bad as all the other Indians. Treaties mean nothing to them.
Chaney, James. Black Wolf, I'm afraid I must hold you for further questioning.
Why, you can't do that, Major. I gave Black Wolf my word that he was free to go as soon as you spoke to him.
Free to lead his redskins in an uprising, you mean?
Braxton's right.
I'm telling you, Major, if you let Black Wolf go, the next thing he'll do is attack this fort and wipe it out.
You've no right to hold him and mark me as a liar.
Hawkeye, you volunteered to bring in Black Wolf. Nothing more. Lock him in the guardhouse.
Right thing, Major. As long as you keep Black Wolf locked up, there'll be no Indian uprising.
I'm only holding him because I'm executive officer here and not in command. The final decision is, of course, up to Colonel Ewing.
Then you'd better send for him and get him here before the Wyandots learn what you've done.
You needn't tell me my duties, Hawkeye. Braxton, Colonel Ewing and his wife are visiting his sister up at Three Meadows. I want you to get there as fast as you can and bring them back here.
Yes, sir.
Hawkeye, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to back up your promise to Black Wolf. But I'm a soldier.
Just pray that you won't be a lot sorrier before we're through with this.
Just before I could warn Black Wolf, many soldiers came and put him in jail.
Hawkeye gave word. Wyandotte chief returned to his people in peace.
You Indians will never learn. It's only men like me that are your real friends. I've got many fire sticks and powder for you. I'll give them to you in exchange for furs.
Black Wolf say Yankees friends make treaty. We do not need fire sticks.
That treaty went up in smoke when the soldiers came and locked up Black Wolf. With fire sticks. You won't have to sit here and wait for the redcoats to come. You can attack them first and beat them.
Wyandottes have no war chief. Without Black Wolf, we do not fight.
Then get him back.
Fire sticks against walls of fort. Small medicine.
Maybe I've got big medicine. I'd been sent to bring Yankee's colonel back to the fort. It just might happen I could lead him into a little ambush.
Lord! Still can't understand why you two want to come all the way from the fort to look at a tree. Well, help yourself. I got a lot of chores to take care of.
Arrow come from there. This is Coup Feather, sign of great warrior. Warrior value more than life, not lose.
Tracks go off this way. There's your answer. Moccasin tracks changed to white man boot prints.
My brother Hawkeye is right. White man attacked settler, not Indian.
But Braxton said he was attacked by Indians. The scout should be able to tell the difference.
But maybe if ambushed.
If there ever was an ambush, I seem to remember that Braxton was mighty anxious to have Black Wolf jailed.
You think Braxton make ambush?
Well, I'm not sure, but if he's guilty, Colonel Ewing's in real danger.
Welcome to Three Meadows Inn. Clean sheets, fine food.
Would you tell Colonel Ewing that we're here?
You another messenger from the fort?
Then he's gone? How long ago did they leave?
Now, let me see. Now, the colonel and his lady, they come down, and they were just about to eat, and this man came in. Well, what did he say his name was? Brack something.
Braxton?
Braxton? Well, I didn't quite get it, but it could be. Sort of an ordinary-looking man with a mustache. The minute he spoke to the colonel, they left.
When go?
Well, about an hour.
Could you tell us which way they went?
I can show you. Yeah, I was standing right here watching, and off they went to the forts. You can see the road here, and the fort's down there to the right. But you know, they took the left fork. I remember saying to myself at the time, now, that's not the road to the forts, not unless the fort's been changed. But then I don't get much news around here. People not traveling the way they used to.
Fellow, this looks like as good a spot as any to rest the horses.
This clearing? Why, we'd be like sitting ducks in a pond.
Oh, there ain't nothing to worry about, Colonel. There won't be no Indian uprising with Black Wolf locked up in the guardhouse. But if you're concerned about it, while you and Mrs. Ewing are resting, I'll scout on ahead.
An excellent idea, Braxton.
They're all yours. I left them back there in the clearing.
Hawkeye and Chingachgook. What are you doing here?
We're trailing you, Colonel. Where's Braxton?
Scouting ahead. We're waiting here for him to return.
If I've got things figured right, you're going to have a long wait. I don't think he'll be coming back. But if he does, he won't be alone.
What are you implying?
I'm not implying anything, Colonel. I'm telling you, you're headed for the Wyandotte village, not the fort.
Preposterous. Braxton's one of the best regimental scouts we've got, and a good man, too. He told us the shortcut would save a full day's travel.
Martha, what's the matter?
Indians!
Wyandotte give tribal sign. Peace treaty finished. Mean war.
Do you think they will attack us?
When they make peace, give word. Now take back word. Go on warpath.
We must move on immediately.
Chingachgook, take the colonel and his lady to the fort that way. I'll make a trail this way and try to draw them off. Circle around and meet you later.
I still can't understand about Braxton.
There's no time for talk now, sir. Just hurry.
They take White Squaw.
Trail him. I'll look after the colonel.
Hawkeye, we just can't sit here while my wife's in the hands of those savages.
When Chingachgook returns, Colonel, we'll know what we have to do.
I'd never forgive myself if anything happened to her. My wife, where is she? Is she safe?
She is in Wyandotte village. They have big council. Much talk. Braxton make big talk.
So Braxton is behind this?
He want war. Attack fort. He give guns. Take furs.
A traitor. He'll hang for this. Right now, my only concern is for my wife's safety. I have it. Black Wolf is in our hands. We'll exchange him for Martha.
Wyandotte not do that. They want Great White Chief, you, in trade for Black Wolf.
Well, what difference does it make as long as they get their chief back?
Colonel, to the Indians, your wife is just an unimportant squaw. They either want you or they want Black Wolf back. And in order to protect your wife, we've got to act fast.
I'll give myself up then. At least the savages will set Martha free.
Well, it isn't that simple. They'll want to hold you both until Black Wolf is back in his village.
I'll just have to run that chance.
I knew you'd say that, Colonel. You stay here. We'll see if they'll bargain.
I know you're risking your lives to do this. And I want you to understand I'll never forget it.
Don't worry about us, Colonel. Just keep out of sight till we come for you.
White men speak with forked tongue.
Hawkeye speak with one tongue.
Did Hawkeye speak with one tongue when he gave Black Wolf his sacred word? Listen to him, you'll all wind up in jail with Black Wolf.
Hear me. I speak the truth. I did not break my word with Black Wolf. Others who want war spoke against the Wyandottes. I tried to stop them.
He lies. I tell you, you won't get your chief back without fighting.
And I say there's another way. You wanted the Yangees chief? I will bring him here for you to hold until Black Wolf is free.
Hawkeye make promise with tongue. His hands empty.
The Yangees chief is not far from here. He'll come here with me.
It's just another trick. Don't listen to him.
You Mohican warrior, friend of Hawkeye. He speak truth?
Hawkeye, my blood brother. Speak truth.
Bring White Chief.
Great White Chief come. Hawkeye, keep word.
John!
You give word? Trade White Chief and woman for Black Wolf?
Black Wolf here safe in 2 sons. On 3rd son, White Chief and woman die. And Wyandotte kill Hawkeye on sight.
So be it.
Expect me to believe this cock and bull nonsense? Black Wolf stays in his cell until Colonel Ewing and his wife are delivered here safely.
Major, if I don't get Black Wolf back to his village in 2 days' time, no white man will be safe on this border. Colonel Ewing and his wife will be dead.
I'm sorry, but I can't believe that. As long as we hold their chief, they wouldn't dare. Braxton's assured me of that.
Braxton's a renegade. I've proven it to Colonel Ewing. I can prove it to you. But first, you've got to release Black Wolf.
Until I'm relieved of command here, I'll give the orders. Black Wolf stays in his cell until the Wyandottes have delivered Colonel Ewing and his wife to this fort. That's all, gentlemen.
I've seen some stupid, hard-headed army officers in my life. That Major Wilson beats them all.
Now Wyandotte be forced to kill Colonel and squaw.
Well, maybe not. How many men are guarding Black Wolf?
Only see 2. But if whole army guard, I go with blood brother.
Yes. Well, Hawkeye, now what was it you were saying about renegades?
Where's Black Wolf?
In the trusted hands of the man who advised me in this affair from the start.
Braxton?
Braxton, yes. He told me about your horde of Indians outside the fort ready to storm the place. But I've checkmated you, Hawkeye. Black Wolf is with Braxton, and his orders are that at the first shot, Black Wolf is to die. Get their guns.
Done a lot of things, Braxton, but killing in cold blood is not
Who
one
said
of them.
anything about cold blood, Wade? We're just following out Major Wilson's orders, that's all.
You know as well as I do, the orders were that we are to kill Black Wolf only if we hear shooting.
Sometimes, Wade, a man hears what he wants to hear. I hear shooting. Has the noble red man a few last words? You thinking or praying?
Evil white men may take Black Wolf's life, but not his spirit. Chief of Wyandot's spirit, stay with his people to guide their vengeance. As Black Wolf believes in Manitou, so will your scalps hang in our lodges long after I am gone.
I said you could have a few words, Indian. You've had them.
Well, I'm certainly happy to see you both back here safely, sir.
Thank you, Major Wilson. By the way, I have a prisoner for you.
Colonel, those two men, they're the ones who... Braxton?
Exactly. The man you should have had in your jail in the first place. Lock them up.
But Colonel,
We'll discuss all that later, Major.
Yes. Yes,
Now,
sir.
would you see Mrs. Ewing to our quarters?
Yes, sir.
Now, just a minute, Major. I shan't even try to say it, but I think you two know how I feel. I'll never forget you.
Well, thank you, ma'am. It goes without saying that I'm eternally grateful. Is there anything at all that I can do for you? Anything you want?
Well, there's one thing, sir. Major Wilson.
What about him?
He's young and impulsive, and you gotta admit he wasn't the only one taken in by Braxton. Maybe he's learned something about the Indians and the frontier.
Maybe he has. I'd be the last one to hold it against a man for honestly doing his duty.
Much good.
Well, goodbye, sir.
Goodbye.
Join us again at this same time next week for another of James Fenimore Cooper's gripping tales of the early American frontier. Another exciting adventure of Hawkeye and his blood brother, Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans.